sense, yeah, you have to, I guess, sort of believe in order to believe, but what does that entail? Well, what Romans is, or what Paul is telling us here, consequently, faith comes from hearing the message, and the message is heard through the word of Christ. We want to know God. We're here because we want to know God, and we recognize that it's a good thing to have a relationship with God. We recognize that it's a good thing to have a faith in God. And we want to know Him, and maybe we want a relationship with Him. Maybe we want to live a more fulfilling life. For whatever reason, we generally recognize that knowing God is a good thing. But we're all about the shortcuts. We're all about taking the easiest way out. And I don't know if you guys have ever played Mario Kart, but I know that every time I miss a shortcut, when there is one, I get really mad. Because we all love shortcuts. Because they're easy. And supposedly they got us to the place where we need to be. But that's not really how it should work. You know, we have this idea that we can know something, but we can completely skip the process of getting to know it. We have this idea that we can know God without, going through the process of trying to get to know Him. And I think that's why many of our Christian walks fail. I think that's why many of, our friends, or even us, kind of fall out, because we say, well, I want to know God, but it's not working, so it must not be true. But are we really trying to get to know God? Are we really, hearing the message? Are we hearing it through the word of Christ? Are we in the word? Are we trying to, take a bite out of an orange and not just looking at the orange and saying that probably tastes like every other orange? And I just lost my train of thought. So faith. Is anyone in here a swimmer or a diver? We got a couple of children. So basically I was just thinking really hard to have kind of a metaphor for you guys. I was thinking to myself, I guess in a sense faith is kind of like diving. And we've all heard the phrase, I want to dive into the Word, I want to dive into God's Word, I want to, acquire faith through diving into God's Word. But what we fail to realize is that if we dive the first time we're swimming, we're probably going to drown and not know what to do. I remember when I was little, I took swimming lessons at this community pool. And I was so excited to get in the pool. I'd never swam before. I was maybe 3 or 4. And I was so happy when my parents finally took me to the pool, and I was like, yes! I was just this ball of happiness and Daniel. Yes. And I looked at the pool, the water was just calling out to me. It was like, Daniel, you can dive in. And I was like, yes! So, I'd seen a lot of Olympic divers on the television, and I was like, I'm just going to do that. It looks easy. So I jump in, and I had no idea what to do. I freaked out. I thought I could breathe underwater, but no one can. And this random guy had to pull me out, and it was really scary. But that's I feel like that's kind of what it's like, We try to dive, we try to know something, we try to take the shortcut, but we don't understand that in order to be able to dive into the water, we need to, kind of take little steps on the side that everyone thinks are dumb, and your friends would make fun of you because you're taking the steps and not cannonballing in, but you need to be familiar with the water in order to learn how to dive. That's kind of what I had in mind, as a metaphor for this. So, I guess to reiterate, what Romans is telling us that is, faith comes from hearing the message. This idea of being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see, that idea comes from hearing the message. That idea comes from being familiar with Christ and being familiar with God. And we can't really hope to grow our faith or to develop a faith if what we want to do is just, jump in and expect to know everything and expect for it to work immediately. I guess a story from my own past, my own childhood. I accepted Christ when I was kind of young, or pretty young. I was like 7, and then I got baptized when I was pretty young too. And, I had this concept that I'm here. I can right off the bat just go with it and take this like a shortcut and just become the most basically when I was 7 I wanted to be the Pope with my relationship with God in a way, without really understanding the idea that it takes more than just diving the first time because you don't know what to do. So I kept doing that and I was getting burned out. I was like, why isn't this working? Why am I not the most knowledgeable, theological, Billy Graham person alive right now? I'm trying the best I can. So by middle school, I was just burned out and I was like, I don't care. But then all of a sudden, my mom started going to this Bible college thing. And I was like, I guess I'll just tag along, it'll be fun. And I did, and they were talking about the Word and going back to the basics and starting from the beginning, which is something that I never actually did. And I started saying, wow, this actually makes sense when I take it step by step and when I actually partake in the process of getting to know God. Not the concept of God, but the person God, getting to know Him, not just knowing Him. I can know Justin, or I can try to know Justin, but if I don't try to get to know him, it's almost like it's fake. So once I realized this in late middle school, I guess, I really started taking my faith seriously, and it started making a lot more sense. And it's kind of funny because back to Patrick, everyone in our grade, I guess, has always known him as this great Christian guy. And when I started taking my faith seriously and I actually started understanding it, people noticed and they were just like, oh, another one. So, but it shows, and then I guess about the vulnerability of taking your faith and the vulnerability of actually stepping forward and realizing that you need to take it step by step and not just jumping into this bottomless abyss. With the idea that you should kind of have or believe in order to believe, or have faith in order to have faith. I was at North Point Church a couple of years ago, and I'd gone there because this band called 10th Avenue North was performing, and I'm a huge fan, I guess. So afterward, I was with my friend, and she wasn't necessarily the, model Christian or whatever, but she was interested. And we stayed and we helped them out, and we helped them carry all their stuff back to their trailer and stuff, and we just started talking about, what it means to believe, what it means to have a relationship with God. And after, Mike, which is the lead singer, kind of told us about what his faith walk looked like, my friend was just like, so you bought it? And he was like, yeah, I bought it. I took a bite out of that orange. I got in the pool. The crazy thing is, Jesus says you can dip your toes in the pool, and you can always, leave the pool. You have that choice. But in order to understand what it means to have faith, and you want faith to have an effect on you, learn to, wade in the water. Learn to take those steps at the end of the pool, and learn to get acquainted with the water, and then one day you can dive. One day you can swim like a shark.